Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Ayesha from CxO Global Forum, a knowledge sharing platform for all the C levels across Pakistan and around the globe. Every time we have some very interesting guests with us. Today as well, we have Sir Shehryar Malik with us, who is the co-founder of Accelerate AI. Assalamualaikum sir, how are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. How was your day, sir?
It's good. We just came back from Ashura holidays, so a lot of things on the agenda to catch up on. So it's been busy.
Right. So starting off with this, I would want you yourself to introduce to our audience who Shehryar Malik basically is.
Okay, so I'm the co-founder at Accelerate AI, where we build custom AI models with LLMs like ChatGPT that have been released over the past couple of years. AI has become quite a hype, but for a long time, a lot of businesses have been trying to adopt AI solution, and they've been interested in that. So we basically build custom AI models for different businesses. So we've been working in this area before AI became so popular as it is now.
Right. Right. So, sir, can you share your career journey and what led you to co-found this Accelerate AI?
Sure. So I have a undergraduate in electrical engineering. So during my undergraduate degree, I was exploring different areas, which area to build a career in, which area to work in.
Right.
And one of the areas that I explored was AI. And so the thing with AI is that it's actually a mathematical field because AI tries to find a mathematical representation for human intelligence, so the
Right.
ideas that you construct mathematical models. And I've always been good at mathematics and inclined towards this. So that's why I ended up choosing AI. So I did my final year project in this. Then I also worked in a research lab, and I worked in reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is the technology that has been used, especially in the context of LLMs, like ChatGPT. So LLMs existed well before 2019, 2020, before they became popular. But the thing that they did that was done differently now was that reinforcement learning was used to train these language models, and that's why the results are so good, and why they became so popular. So I've worked in reinforcement learning. I worked in it for about 2 years. I published at ICML, which is one of the top conferences in AI. And during the research period, I also had the opportunity to interact with some organizations and see how they were using AI and machine learning. And one of the gaps I saw in those organizations was that while the research was very ahead, people in the industry weren't very up to date on the latest AI trends and technologies and research, and there was a gap. So, for example, I interacted with the organization, and they were using what are called random forests, and random forests are like AI models people used to use in 2013, 2014. So they weren't up to date with
Right.
the latest AI technologies. So that led to the idea of Accelerate AI, and starting a company that focuses on using state-of-the-art AI technology to help different businesses. So that's where the idea came from. So after my research period, I then started the company.
Right. So, sir, how did you come up with this name, Accelerate AI?
Yeah, so it again ties back to what I was saying earlier, that there's a gap between industry, and we felt that the industry needed to catch up, and it was
Right.
much behind than where AI research was in the academia. So that's what Accelerate AI means. That our goal is to accelerate a business's transition to
Right.
artificial intelligence. Yeah. Um, yeah.
Right. So, sir, what are some of the biggest challenges I would ask that you are facing at the early stages of your company?
Okay, yeah. So there were a few. So one was that it's hard to find good AI talent. because AI is a very, especially, so the area that we work in is deep learning. So that's a subfield of AI. And it's a very recent area of study. So, which is why there aren't a lot of good university programs around this. So, this was one of the difficulties, that it was hard to find good, talented people who who understood what machine learning was, who understood the theory behind it, and also simultaneously were good at coding and building softwares and applications. So I would say that that was the biggest challenge we faced at the start. So it wasn't that people weren't interested in adopting AI solutions. So a lot of businesses reached out to us, still reach out to us. They're interested in using AI. The challenge was that we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the expertise initially within the team to take on those projects and build good solutions. So that was one of the biggest challenges we faced, and but now we've managed to overcome that. We now train
Definitely.
resources in house, and we have mentorship programs. We take on students during their final year projects, mentor them, help them transition into machine learning. So yeah, so I would say that was the biggest challenge. Another challenge that we also face till now is that in AI, the it's hard to define a project scope because the accuracy of an AI model
Right.
heavily depends on the kind of data you have. So a lot of
Definitely.
organizations may not have enough data, or the data may not be organized, or it may not be available in a format that the AI model can consume. So it becomes harder to define the scope of the project based on that. So then you need to convince business owners that to start the project, and to and that do it in iteration. So first iteration we target a baseline MVP. Second iteration we improve upon that, and then iteratively the system improves. So that's another, yeah, that's another issue.
Right. So, sir, I would ask, being a co-founder of Accelerate AI, what are your basic roles and responsibilities that you have to take care of?
Yeah, sure. So I look at the business side mainly. I look at the business side and the operations. So Naeem, who's my co-founder, he looks at the technology side. He generally leads the technical teams, executes the projects, etc. But then my job is basically to bring in business, talk to different customers, pitch different AI use cases, scope the project out with them, and
Right.
finalize the project before starting, and then Naeem's team takes over. And then I also look at other operations, admin, HR, that also comes under me. So yeah.
Right. So, sir, I would like to ask if you could discuss a significant milestone or achievement that Accelerate AI has reached since its inception.
Yeah. So one which I was mentioning earlier is that initially we had challenge finding good talent. So that's a significant thing we've managed to overcome. So now we have
Right.
a team. I would say it's one of the best teams in Pakistan working in machine learning. We're one of the very few companies that actually build custom AI models. We have our own in-house GPUs, servers that we use to train models, and we have
Right.
enough capacity to even train smaller language models. So that would be the, I would say, one of the significant milestones we've managed to achieve. The other is that we've now matured from a startup company into a
Right.
small size company. So our departments and our processes are in place. So we have defined roles and responsibilities. So, for example, initially both Naeem and I, both of us were looking at both the business side and the technical side, but now that's separate. So he looks at the technical, I look at the business. So it's more structured now. Yeah.
Right. So, sir, as the technology and AI itself is changing very rapidly, so how do you stay updated with the industry's trends and advancements in the AI technology?
Yeah. So for that, I regularly follow research papers. So there are a few major conferences in AI. One is ICML, which I was mentioning previously. Then it's NeurIPS and ICLR. So these are some of the most popular, biggest conferences where you'll have research teams from some of the largest organizations like Google and Amazon publishing there. So one is that I keep in touch with those conferences, go through their proceedings every year, see what's new, what improvements have been made. So that's one. Another more frequent source is newsletters. So there are a few very good newsletters in AI
Right.
that are published weekly. So I would go through them. So these are basically the two main sources I personally use, and I also recommend people in the team to go through these.
Right. So, sir, how do you handle disagreements or conflicts among your co-founders or your team members if you face any?
Okay, so normally we don't have any conflicts because our roles are defined. As I was saying earlier, so I look at the business side, and Ryan would look at the technology
Right.
side. So we know that if it's a business decision, a business side decision, then I'll be making it. If it's a technology side decision, then Ryan's going to be making it. So usually our roles are defined. We do take advice from each other. We discuss that internally, but it's clear who's going to make the final decision, and I think both of us respect that, and yeah, we allow the relevant person to make the decision.
Right.
Yeah.
So, sir, how do you balance the demand of running a company along with your personal life?
Yeah, that's a challenge. Normally, what I would do is I would have a planned weekly schedule.
Okay.
So maybe fixed hours for work, then fixed hours for other things. Meetings would already be pre-scheduled. So normally I'm able to manage it like that. Just by planning it a week ahead, a week in advance, or 2 weeks in advance. My schedule. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I would say.
Right. So, sir, what role does customer feedback play in shaping the direction of your company, Accelerate AI?
Yeah, so customers' feedback, that's one of the most important things. So, for example, we're basically a service provider company. We provide services in AI, but we also have a few products, and we we're also building those out. And in that, it's very important to build your product around your customers' need, rather than assuming that okay, this is maybe what the customer might want, and then you building it. So the projects that we build, we usually onboard a couple of customers. We collaborate with them. We give them early access and free trial to the projects, and then we would build it specifically for their use case, and then generalize it to other industries. So we would, maybe have constant weekly meetings with them just to get feedback about the product, add features. So yeah, so that's how we take in customer feedback.
Right. So, sir, I would like to ask about the engagement of your employees. How do you ensure a strong company culture and the proper engagement of your employees at Accelerate AI?
Yeah, so at Accelerate AI, so we have a strong culture of learning. So this is one of the areas that we stress a lot on, because AI is it's a new field, and there's a lot of research that's happening in
Right.
AI. So unless someone doesn't follow that research and those trends, they would very quickly be left behind. So this is one of the areas we encourage, or in fact we stress that everyone should be up to date. So that automatically also creates engagement within the team. So for example, we'll have weekly presentations on
Right.
some machine learning topics. Someone from the team will come and present, and others will be present, and they will ask questions. So we try to build engagement and interest by focusing on this. So everyone in the team also, they feel that okay, we're learning something new, and this is something that we didn't know before, and this is a new skill or a new talent that we've learned. So that automatically creates good engagement within the team and a good bonding. Yeah.
Right. So, sir, outside of work, what are some of your hobbies or interests that you're passionate about?
So I love reading, so I read a lot, and I read
Okay.
everything from history to philosophy to uh, more cultural topics. So yeah, so I read a lot. So that's if I'm not doing work, then that's what I'm usually engaged in.
Right. So what would be that one advice that you would want to give to somebody who's aspiring entrepreneurship or who want to start their own AI-based company?
Yeah, so I would say that you should focus on providing good quality solutions because they are anything that most people do. There are a lot of other people that are also doing that. So, for example, we're not the only AI services company. There are plenty of other companies that are also providing AI services. So what can differentiate one company from the other is the quality of services they're providing. So I would say that anyone who's starting out, one is that try and provide good quality services. Think so if you're building a product for a client, then think like it's your own product, and
Right.
take ownership of that product.
Ownership.
Maybe the client asks you to do something, but you know that this would actually hurt the product, or this is not as useful, or they could be doing something better. So I would say that in that case, take ownership of the product and let the client know that instead of this, maybe we should do this. So one is definitely that. And then the other thing, especially if someone is trying to build a services-based company, I would say start with a few good clients, and just build something with them. Don't try to get a lot of clients because then you would very quickly be overwhelmed and you won't be able to provide quality services to anyone. At least at the start, only focus on a few good clients, build relationships with them, build internal company processes. So, for example, in AI is different from traditional software development. So make sure that you have a good AI development lifecycle in place in the company. You have a good, for example, a business development department. You have a good internal company culture before you start scaling. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Right. So, sir, lastly, how would you describe your experience with CXO Global Forum?
Yeah, so I actually became a member, I think just a couple of months back. So I think you guys are also having a conference in August in Karachi. So yeah, I'm looking forward to attending that. But it's a good platform to connect with different people, industry leaders in Pakistan, and just learn about what other people are doing, what challenges they're facing, and just in general, learning from them.
Right. So, so done with this short interaction here. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that our viewers would be able to learn something out of this discussion, just like I did. And it was lovely having you on board. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.